Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our reaction to The Circle, US episode 8. This is the end of the second block of episodes. We have a cliffhanger. We have new players, or I guess new player. You have the weird two-headed monster of Ed and Tammy.
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff that happens here. We say goodbye to another member of The Circle. We will break all of this down, but before we do, if you do enjoy this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates.
So before we jump in, we got sent something really cool by Netflix today. And it was all about The Circle, and we just wanted to share with you guys because we are number 2 since we are not part of The Circle. But we just wanted to say thanks to Netflix for sending this. This was really cool, and it's such a fun part of the show that we were really excited when we saw this.
And so, clearly, Sammy has already established in her own blight box that she is number 1, so...
And she really is.
Yeah, this is as best as we can do at the moment.
Number 2! I'll take it.
Yeah, well, we'll try to see if we can come up with some other fun stuff to put on here throughout the remainder of these videos. Yeah. But, yes, so I think we have to start in this video with the resolution of our cliffhanger. Because we knew coming into this episode that our good old pal Shuby and Joey, they had the power, they were the influencers, but... they had to save people as opposed to eliminating someone.
Yeah, and it kind of didn't shake out the way that I thought that it would. I thought Adam was in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Or possibly maybe Chris, but probably not. I was really surprised that Miranda ended up going for a couple reasons.
Yeah.
I thought either Joey was going to save Miranda, which would make sense for him to save Miranda over Chris. And then Shuby would just, save Chris at that point.
Yeah.
It didn't, and in some ways, I didn't understand why Shuby didn't also save Miranda. Because in some ways, saving Miranda... after he saw that Joey wasn't saving Miranda, would have told me as Shuby that Joey probably wanted to save Miranda, but felt like Chris had been around this group longer and maybe wanted to make that move. But that maybe they're close, but they're not that close. They're close enough that Miranda will save Joey, who's an ally of Shuby, so that works well for Shuby. And if Joey ever had to choose between Miranda and Shuby, he's going to choose Shuby. So I was kind of surprised that Shuby didn't make that move to be like, yeah, I'm going to keep Miranda around because she's going to keep my boy Joey around, which is going to keep me around.
I'm going to go the other way on this. I will agree. I think that Joey deciding to keep Chris over Miranda is catastrophic to Joey's game. I think this is really, really bad, and I feel more confident now than ever that Chris is going to smoke all of these people and win at the end of this season. Mostly because he's got these people who are keeping him. Chris ain't loyal to you guys.
No, and he's been kind of clear that you don't know where he's really falling.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Chris is fine to stick around with them for however long it's convenient. But if he has an opportunity, I think he's going to try to take them out. And Miranda would have never turned on Joey.
No.
And I think this is all on Joey for not saving Miranda. For Shuby, this is my feeling on it, and this may be very wrong, is that even if Shuby saves Miranda, I think Miranda is still going to be more loyal to Joey than she is Shuby.
Yes, and I think that too, but I think that then keeps Joey around, which will keep Shuby around.
I just think ultimately that keeping Adam, what that does is it builds Shuby an ally, and now Adam, aka Alex, is going to trust Shuby so much more than he is Joey. So I think Shuby gets to pull in somebody else who can be a possible number 2 or number 3 ally for him. instead of giving Joey a number 2 ally that's a little bit stronger. I think Shuby helps his own end game by keeping Adam.
I don't know, because Adam and Joey are not close. So then if you're in a situation where, say, for some reason Adam ends up being the influencer, then we have a situation where he may not listen to Shuby and he'll just get rid of Joey because he'll be like, well, I want to be Shuby's number 1. And as long as Joey's here, that's a problem. Miranda was never going to send home Joey, and Joey was always going to be connected to Shuby. I just think Miranda was the better play for the 3 of them to stick around longer.
It's a tricky sort of situation, because I think ultimately with Shuby, he's just going to be in danger as soon as he's not an influencer if the wrong person is in power, because he's just been so dominant through most of this game at this point. The one problem here is that I don't think Adam is ever going to be number 1 through the rest of this game.
No, but I do think that if Sean or a Bill or the new guys come in, Shuby's in trouble.
Yeah, Shuby's in trouble. Joey could be in trouble. I think it's going to be fascinating sort of seeing how this unfolds, because I think this is a really key inflection point, and maybe both Joey and Shuby, their concern was, if we get rid of Chris here, we're going to lose Sammy to some extent. Maybe Rebecca will be disappointed. Like, maybe they felt like they have sort of an OG thing going on, and if they turn on Chris here, then it'll signal to them that they may be turned on later.
Well, the thing is it feels like even after that conversation that we saw with Joey and Shuby and Chris, where Shuby and Joey should have picked up enough signals to know that Chris is not fully on board. He's not fully off board, but Miranda was fully on board. So I don't know. I didn't think they were gonna cut Chris at this point, but it made more sense to me for both of them to have keep Miranda around, because Miranda's a number in their pocket against Chris when it's time to take out Chris.
Well, let's talk now, though, about our first real actual circle romantic moment, because it's one thing to have eggplant emojis.
Yes.
Or I should say emojo. I'm sorry. I gotta use the correct vernacular now.
And we didn't get an eggplant, so we have this instead.
I'm not gonna comment anymore on that. I'm just gonna move along and talk about how we had the kiss moment here. There's your kiss. This is like prop comedy now. We have the kiss moment between Joey and Miranda. You know, I don't know if anything is gonna come of this, but it actually was kind of sweet, that scene the two of them had.
Yeah, it was. And obviously we only got a little piece of it. Who knows how long she was there for. It could have been 10 minutes. It could have been an hour. But there was a connection with them. And it really was shocking that he did not choose her. I don't get it. And now that this, of course, has made it possibly a little bit of regret. I mean, he never actually said the word regret. So it kind of feels like he still feels he made the right decision.
He won't feel that way in a couple of episodes when he loses and he should have kept Miranda. And then she says that she's rooting for him, but I'm sure when he calls her up and is like, yeah, I didn't win, she's going to feel like, well, you should have kept me.
Yeah.
And that could have ultimately changed things in a big way. But yeah, and he was pretty upfront about it after the fact. And I think we had in this episode really a greater solidified sense that Shuby, Sammy, Chris, and Joey, like, that is sort of the core 4 alliance.
Yeah, and it was, again, surprising to me that Rebecca was not included in this 4 chat. I felt like after all that had happened, that it really solidified the 5 of them as, okay, we're the OG circle, we're gonna stick together, we saved you guys because we're all gonna stick together. Very surprising she wasn't included in that chat, and that people like Shuby weren't even surprised that she wasn't. He didn't even say anything, like, why is Rebecca not in here?
Yeah, and I mean, maybe Shuby already recognized that she wasn't a part of it with other people, and he was just like, okay, you know, I know in my heart that I'm going to go and tell Rebecca all this information later, so I'm just going to sit here and be quiet and listen and collect.
Yeah.
Which, is fine, I guess, on Shuby.
I meant more like to us as the viewers that he didn't have that moment with us to say, it's kind of suspect that she's not part of this. Not with the group.
Yeah.
Because it still makes sense for him to keep Rebecca close to him so that Shuby can move forward with that. He doesn't need to share her.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if I was Shuby. Where is she? Why is she not part of this?
I think it's kind of a failure on producers because I think Shuby probably knows this, but because we don't know why, we need to have a moment where Shuby explains to us why. It's either that or there was some sort of like weird circle rule that we don't know about that's sort of like you can only do group chats of 4 at this point in the game or something like that, but we're not privy to any of that, so it's just a big hovering mystery at the moment. But that conversation between Shuby and Rebecca, like, Rebecca, a.k.a. Seaburn, he's starting to feel a little bit of the guilt with the "you're like a sister to me" conversation.
Yeah, but it's also kind of weird because he keeps playing up Rebecca that everybody's dreamy. Every person that's coming in, oh, it's Adam, oh, it's Bill, oh, no, it's Ed, no, it's whoever, that it always kind of goes to that, which is kind of strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, Seaburn's really not that great at pretending to be Rebecca. I just think it's that...
No, which is why I'm kind of wondering if maybe that's why she just wasn't included, that people are starting to kind of just feel like something is off. Because something is off.
Yeah, but I mean, if nothing else, maybe they're just sort of like, something is off with Rebecca, but at the same time, Rebecca's not really hurting us, so we don't have to get rid of her right now.
Because even it was like at the beginning, she was like, oh, you guys think Chris is cute? Like, she's just, there is something that is off with the way that he's playing Rebecca.
Yeah, but still, Seaburn, I love you. I love everything about you on the show. I love your ridiculousness.
Oh, he's fun to
watch. No. I could watch Seaburn just sitting in a room, just doing stuff all day, and I'd be more than fine with that.
Which is what we are watching.
Yeah, it's true. Give me the Circle spinoff, just Seaburn, and just sits in a room and pretends to be other people all day.
Seaburn Circle.
The Seaburn Circle. But, okay, so let's talk about our newcomers here. And Ed and Tammy. This was an interesting twist, to say the least, where it's one thing to have a catfish, and I thought that's where they were going when they were introducing it, but no, it's instead, oh, here's my mom, and she's just actually going to be staying with me in this room for the entire time.
Yeah, and I actually thought, okay, this is going to be a really cool twist. We're going to have two people that are working this whole circle together, but it still feels like it's mostly just Ed, and his mom is there. Because the few things that she suggested just didn't go anywhere.
I think this is mostly a move for comedy at this point. Because it's just sort of like, Ed, you're in so late in the game at this point. I know you're the last person. And, we haven't seen Circle UK. I mean, maybe there was somebody who arrived this late who ended up winning. But it just feels like to me, this is so late in the game, it's going to be hard to build relationships. So if nothing else, just give us the lulls of seeing this guy fight with his mom who doesn't know how to say emoji. And just, provide us with this sort of just education. Kind of like we learned so much about Pennsylvania, various neighborhoods in this episode. Because he and Sammy apparently have a connection.
Well, the thing about Ed that I think he's got going for him is that he is just kind of a cool guy. He's got a cool job. Yeah, he's got his motorcycles and all these other things, and he's pretty laid back. And he's not playing the game like Miranda or Alex, who's come in as Adam with the flirting game. He did just come in and decide to be himself, sort of. Hey, this is who I am. This is what's going on. And seeing the reactions from people, it was almost like when Bill came in. It was like, oh, man, okay, this guy just feels like who he is, and that's what this group is about. And that's one of the things that I found interesting about this episode is that some of the people who are catfishing are now kind of realizing that this is not the game, that they came in, Alex, oh, I'm going to flirt with all the girls, I'm going to get all the ladies, and Sean was thinking, oh, well, I'm going to come in and be beautiful, and that's going to help me get through the game. And they seem to have both quickly realized that this is not the way to play this game.
This is the first episode where I feel like Alex actually started to play the game a little bit better. because he had that conversation with Shuby, and he sort of recognized, oh, I actually should probably be more of Alex instead of Adam with Shuby.
Yeah, and it is working, and this is the way to play with this group. That's why when I hear people go into Big Brother and they're feeling, okay, I've got a plan, and this is going to be my plan, I'm not going to deviate from the plan, it feels like with the circle, it's a lot like Big Brother in that you have to adapt. You have to see what the group is like, what's the feeling, how are other people playing that's working, and start to move things around. So I think that conversation that Adam Alex had with Shuby was a really smart move.
It was, and I think they're closer because of it, and this is why I think keeping Adam could be useful for Shuby, but it's still... There's still 4 episodes left, so there's a lot of, like, variants and ways that this can change.
I'm just worried that Alex is going to cut Joey so that he can be the number 1.
Yeah, that is nerve-wracking. There are a lot of things I think are going to be nerve-wracking coming up for these people. But let's instead just laugh for a moment at terrible art, because I love these weird activities they give them, and the whole... Here, we're going to assign you someone. Draw whoever you want. This was funny.
This was funny, and it was fun, and there was some really nice stuff, actually. I enjoyed Sean's picture of Chris immensely. I loved it. It was really fun and cool and just out there. I really liked it. That
was funny. The... Shuby feeling as though Rebecca was going to disown him within the game for, well, it wasn't great. But it wasn't the worst that we saw. At least he drew her, which not everybody did. Poor Ed has just got like a picture that's just like, here are all your defining characteristics.
At least Joey went with what he knew instead of like the cake disaster that happened before.
I want to know what Joey has actually done over the course of his life, because clearly he's never decorated, he's never drawn. Like, what has Joey been doing?
Shuby did a better job than I would have done. That's why when he came out with that picture and someone was like, now I'm convinced he's a catfish and I think that he's 6. I feel that Shuby did a better job than me. I can't even draw a stick figure.
I can draw okay, but I don't think I can paint at all, and so it would have been like a jumbled mess of, this is actually kind of what I wish they had done. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish that they hadn't assigned them people, and they were just like, draw whoever you want, and then everyone else in the circle has to guess who it is.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Because then you get into a situation where, let's say Joey hypothetically draws someone, and then they can't even figure out who it is, and then somebody gets offended later because, oh, you think that's what I look like?
It's true. Well, we did have a little bit of shade thrown in there by Bill.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill.
Bill, I love Bill, even though Bill is, I think, way too boring for the circle otherwise. He just feels like he's completely normal.
He is completely normal, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
Good on you, Bill, for bringing a little bit of stirring the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Bill is not about Adam, I don't think at all. I think Adam represents everything Bill hates. Like, a guy who takes his shirt off, a guy who's on Instagram too much, a guy who goes to the gym.
Yep.
And so nice or too nice. It's just like, Bill, I don't exactly know what you're doing. I don't know what your end game is here, but at least, yeah, thank you for contributing to the task.
Yes. No, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I think all of these were by and large pretty funny. I mean, ultimately, it did not teach us anything about the show whatsoever.
No, and some of the other games that we've played have definitely stirred the pot a little bit better than this, but it was still fun. This was a lot like the cake challenge, which was just giving everyone a really good laugh.
I did like the visual portrait of the love story between Joey and Miranda. And like...
yes, I was like, is that a tongue? I was like... And then when someone was like, oh, it's like Lady and the Tramp. When they went back to the picture, I was like, oh, that is what it is. It looks like there's kind of a beige blob here that I think is spaghetti and maybe some pink... I don't know what these are. They must be meatballs.
Yeah, I also just love, like, how annoyed Sammy is at this point by everyone constantly flirting with her.
And I completely understand that. I mean, I get that she's a flirt and has fun and parties and all that, but you gotta be in the mood for it. And if it's just kind of a constant barrage of slipping into DMs, it can get irritating.
Yeah, this is why, here is my idea for the next circle, if there's a season 2. go in and just say, I don't know if they would cast you, but go in and just say that you're married, even if you're not married, just because it will make you stand out from the pack.
Yep.
You won't be flirting with people, and you can maybe build relationships a different way, so you can be sort of a counterpoint to all of these other just dude bros who are just like, hey there, winky face emoji.
I'm actually surprised that not one person in the circle yet, now that everybody's in the game, that no one has brought up the fact that every single person is single. I would be kind of wondering at this point, what, they didn't cast one married person? Not one taken person even? Like, what is going on with this? Is this the single circle?
I have no idea.
I'm just surprised no one's kind of mentioned it.
Yeah, it's another sort of thing that, I mean, maybe they have and the producers haven't shown us, which in that case, it's kind of like, why? It's not like you guys have a time limit because you're on Netflix.
Yeah.
But maybe this is just like, I want Circle live feeds where, I mean, I'm granted they're probably boring like 90% of the time because people just standing around by themselves.
Yeah, but there is probably more to conversations than we're seeing. Everybody's not just having a 5-minute conversation. We're getting the meat of the conversation.
Maybe this is what I wish. I wish that they would maybe put out like 15 to 20 minute videos for each episode that are just like monologues from the players where we get like unfiltered thoughts. Kind of like the live diary rooms in Big Brother Over the Top. But, okay, well, we got to get to the cliffhanger now, which is after the picture, I think Sean has her, like, seeing the light moment where she realizes, I don't want to be a catfish anymore.
Yeah, and I wondered also if it was just, again, that idea that they came into the game late. They didn't know how to play it or what to do or anything like that. They just figured it was going to be, I'm going to come in and flirt. And then as they've been getting to know the other players in the game, they're understanding that nobody's playing that game and they're the only person in there trying to stir up some flirting and romance, and it is not working. So I wondered if part of it was Sean feeling bad and guilty about lying about it, but if this is actually just more gameplay of, okay, I'm noticing that these genuine relationships are coming together, and I can't do that if I'm playing a character and I'm not being honest with people, so I'm going to come clean and see where the chips fall.
I don't think it's gameplay. I mean, I might be wrong, and maybe, you know, there's more here than what we're seeing. It sounds like based on what we had with that introduction with Sean, where she told us about herself, that in life she's confident with who she is and she's happy with who she is. I think she just has a case of the regrets. I mean, we should certainly talk about, though, whether or not this is actually a good move to basically tell everyone, guess what? I actually am a liar because I've been lying to you this whole time.
I think that it's actually a very good move with this group of people. I know it's weird for me to say that, probably, because she's coming clean with a lie. But because she hasn't been there very long, and also because of what we saw with Karen earlier in the game, where she was saying she was worried that people were going to feel a certain way about her because of what she looked like. So she came in as this different person. And then as it turned out, nobody was really going to feel that way about her. That people were going to like her. And I think more people would have liked her. This group of people would have been fine with it. And after seeing the reactions from people like Antonio, people like Chris, and stuff like that, I think that Sean is going to have an easier time in this game once that's come clean, because the way that it's structured, it feels like it's only a day that they're really in there, or 2 days. Like, it's a very short period of time. So for her to come clean and say, listen, guys, I was worried about how people were going to perceive me because I look like this and everyone looks like this and Instagram is like this. So I think there's going to be more of an understanding than maybe she even thinks there's going to be. And I could be wrong, and they could be a little like, oh, you're a liar, we're done with you, how dare you, get out of here, you're blocked. But I think there's going to be an understanding and some empathy behind that.
I think I mostly agree. I think that it will probably help her in the short term. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be like, you suck now, we want to get rid of you. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I do think what could happen, though, is Rebecca is in there, for example.
Yep.
Let's say Rebecca goes and tells Shuby about this sort of situation. Or let's say, Sammy goes and tells someone else. If someone who is outside of that circle, pun intended here, ends up finding out about it from someone who is in there, then it could become this, okay, well, Sean clearly doesn't trust me that much. And so now Sean wants to work with these other people, and I know it. I need to get rid of Sean. Maybe that comes out of it, but I don't think there's really a big downside to her doing this because it doesn't seem like she was really making that much headway in the first place.
No, and I actually don't think she's going to keep it a secret with just them. I think this is the testing of the waters to see how they react, and I think everyone's going to be like, oh, it sucks that you lied to us and you could have been yourself with us, but now we want to show you that you can be yourself with us because we're all being pretty genuine, except obviously Rebecca's not being genuine. But I think that that's going to be the overall feeling with it, and that then she's gonna just come clean to everybody else. I think she made a very smart move coming out with a very close group of people to test that water first. I don't think she's gonna keep it a secret. I think that's a really bad move. She needs to tell everybody or nobody.
I think it'll buy her at least one elimination. I don't think she'll be gone next because I think people will feel a lot for what she does, but after that, all bets are off.
Yeah, she hasn't been making the connections that she needs to make. It's sort of the same feeling as Miranda was having the same problem, and I just feel like the new people are all having that same problem. They're all focusing, to me, on the wrong people. They are focusing on the people who have been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
They need to start focusing on the other people. Like, it's pretty clear after that specific elimination that just happened that the core people who've been there since the beginning are bonded.
Yeah.
So at this point, if I was someone like Sean, Alex, Bill, any of the Ed, don't contact Sammy. Like, why? Contact each other. Find a way to make that bond with each other, because you guys can build something as well. The numbers are there.
Well, we will see if they do that over the final 4 episodes. We are almost there. But let's hear from you guys. What did you think about this episode? Do you think Joey made a bad decision? Did Shuby make a bad decision? Give us some love or give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to support us more, check the link in the description to the Garter Mat store. And we'll see you here next time.